Alright then, guys. Well, you asked, we delivered. We've done the 50, the 150, the 500 rarity, and now we've mixed in the 100 rarity, and this is where we do actually start to see some very interesting results in what looks like how the rarity curve works. We've been told that there's a fall-off between 50... After 150, there's huge diminishing returns. I think we can see that plotted already from our final results with 500 from 150. What people wanted to know was, well, what point between 50 and 150 do we get this huge jump? Because at 150, we're seeing 83% of the loot that we're seeing at 500. But at 50, we're seeing 17% of the loot that we're seeing at 500. So at what point? So we put 100 into the mix, because in my last video, I was very much like, I think 150 is the magic number. And well, I'm even more confident now than it is. Here's our loot drops. Once these are done, we're going to chuck everything into the spreadsheet, perform some analysis, maybe even do a graph or something. So enjoy the loot drops, and get ready for the nerd stuff.
Here we go. Yeah, it's yeah.
Is that our first? That's not our first chorb, is it?
And there we go.
Divine.
I've crashed again.
Shit.
So just don't forget the up. Oh look, divine. That's going to be a great one to put in. But there's our first divine.
Well,
Strange.
it's daft, isn't it? It's daft.
Divine? See if I breach ring then. Barham gets a fingering. Comes back looking lean as fuck. Like,
I mean, what would you need to? Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
oh,
What we getting? What we getting?
yeah. Oh.
Okay, Chorb.
Just want to see one of those in 80. Ooh. Well, alright, what are we looking at?
Daddy, you're my daddy.
Well, I guess that's going in. Either we're gonna have to juice. If we do it, we'll have to juice and then get. It's such a better bosser. It's not even. Oh, that's some loot. Oh, loot.
Mirror, mirror.
It was something that went ting, but it was the Brutus Brain, which is actually lame. I'll probably even play the slow support myself.
Well,
Did my character run forwards just randomly? Oh.
no, just stop. Took a shitload of hits.
So someone's complained that that there's not enough. We haven't done enough runs, but the problem is it's not the number of runs. Anyway, Jorbs.
Sure.
Wow. It's not annoying in single player. It's annoying now. Oh look, another.
Something, you know.
Needs to drop something. So those were the drops, guys, but what does it actually all mean when we put it together and put it into our spreadsheet? Well, in front of us we've got the IIR 100 results. 15 tier 5s, 24 tier 4s, 13 tier 3s, 1 tier 5 jewelry, no tier 4s, 3 tier 3s, 10 tier 2s, 1 tier 1, or just no tier on the jewelry, but all jewelry shows up. 83 basic currencies, 13 mids, and 2 top currencies. We got a Rune of the Sky, which we included as top. They are super rare, even if they're not valuable. They're the same sort of rarity as the chase runes. So just pop that in as rare currency. Looking over at our graph, there's some interesting numbers. So I think the first thing to call out is the difference in number of drops that showed up on the uber strict filter on a duo doing Zeshit, where we've got a controlled number of drops. So just to explain quickly, the reason we're doing Zeshit is because there is one controlled loot explosion that is the same every time. We can influence it purely with the rarity bot. I know there's only a total number of shown drops here of 168, but we probably have seen like a few thousand drops doing this. So the numbers should start to balance out. We do plan to do more. But anyway, the first interesting thing to call out, we see the same number of items increase from IIR 50, 100, 150. So there's a similar increase in the items that appear on the filter as we jump up those first 50s. But where we see a really strong differential is actually things like the tier 5 equipment is not good. And the top tier currency drops, that big jump up to what we're seeing at IR 500 and IR 150 did not happen at IR 100. There was a lot less loot. It felt a lot more like the IR 50 runs, and as we put everything in the stash, that is really how it started to feel. As we start to look at this as a differential, so I've charted all of these differentials against each other now. We've got 50 to 100, 50 to 150, 100 to 150, 50 to 500, 100 to 500, and 150 to 500. You can see that there is not much change. There's not much green happening, a little bit around the tier 4 equipment as we go to 50 to 100. As we step up between 50 and 150, we can see the majority of the green here. Similarly, if we look at 50 versus 500, we see a lot of green there as well. So stepping up to 150 or 500 from 50 is massive. Stepping up to 150 from 100, we're seeing almost as many greens. And actually, if we look at the valuable differential, going from 50 to 150, we see 23 top tier upgrades. For top tier upgrades, I'm counting tier 5 equipment, tier 5 or tier 4 jewelry, and top currency. So we see 23 going from 50 to 150, but we still see 17 of those going from 100 to 150. As we come down the line, we're seeing 30 as we go from 50 to 500. Quick maths, that means we're seeing 7 as we're going from 150 to 500. And most of these seem to be in the tier 3 equipment, which we're not really counting. Well, we see 10 more drops, but most of them seem to be in the tier 3 equipment and a slight down on the basic currency. We're not seeing a big uptick on that tier 5 equipment, although we have seen a reasonably big uptick on the jewelry, which I expect could either be tier 5 equipment or, if it hit the currency table, would be a top tier currency drop. So the difference between 150 and 500 is definitely flattened off. What's interesting is how we're coming up. Let's try and graph this one out a bit. I'm just going to draw this in Paint. We're going very high tech for this. But effectively, it's doing what I'm drawing on the screen now. It feels like it's going flat from 50 to 100. It's a very minor increase. Then you've got this stark increase between 100 and 150. Then you get to 150 and it just flattens off down to 500. Now, this does correlate with the sort of hints and tips that we've got from Mark and Jonathan just before they release 0.2. So I have no doubt to believe that these numbers, if we continue capturing this data, will continue to hold true to these sorts of trends. I think 150 is that magic number. We'll keep gaining data. We'll do different content. We'll plot it the same way. If we start to find any difference, then obviously we'll put the data out anyway. But if we start to find any difference, you guys will be the first to know. Really hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for paying attention to all my nerdy stuff. If you want to debate some of it and that, let's go in the comments. You know I love a debate. I'll catch you in the next video. Oh, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps and stuff. I know Trump told you to do it earlier, but that's awesome. Catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.